The setting is a small apartment in Lahore, Pakistan. It is 2017. A Turkish family lives there. The mother, Saifam, and the father, Selahaddin, are both teachers who have been teaching in Pakistan with the Hizmet organization. Saifam and their two daughters, Amila, 14, and Aisha, 12, are setting the table for dinner and talking with each other. The radio is playing Turkish music softly in the background. Saifam, Amila, and Aisha are preparing a meal when Selahaddin rushes in, obviously upset and out of breath.
Quick, gather your passports and a change of clothes. Get your jewelry and our money. A unit from the Army of Pakistan is on its way here now. I saw them going into the apartment of a friend on my way home, and I'm sure they're coming here next. We have to try to flee now.
Why? We're not in Turkey. We've been here in Pakistan for 2 years. Why would they come for us here?
Because we are a part of the Hizmet movement. They've been closing down all the Hizmet schools in the area. President Erdogan has requested that all Turks within the Hizmet movement and doing things here be expelled, and Pakistan is complying with his request.
Oh, girls, we must be wise as serpents and fast as gazelles to escape them.
I arrest you in the name of the government of Pakistan. Anything you say from this point on can be held against you. Put your hands behind your back.
Sirs, we have done nothing wrong. We are missionaries. We teach math and science to children in this urban neighborhood. There must be some mistake. Sir, please, please. I am a religious woman. Let me cover.
Terrorists are not religious. Terrorists work against the will of Allah. Take them.
Where are you taking us?
To prison.
Please tell us what we have done that you are taking us to prison. We've done nothing wrong.
It says here, traitors to the state have operated in a school that teaches propaganda to children of Pakistan. Saifam, in particular, is named here as a terrorist taking advantage of the goodwill of Pakistan to shape children's minds, to question the government's policies. She teaches our youth to believe in international cooperation between Muslims and other religious people across the world.
Search this apartment. Search our school. You will find no weapons. We are not terrorists. We work for peace.
Take her first.
Where? No, let me call somebody to take care of the children.
Come on.
Don't take my parents. It's not fair.
The government of Pakistan will take care of them.
Don't be afraid, girls. We will be together again. Trust that Allah will care for us. Oh. Ah!
It is 6 months later. The family was flown out of Pakistan the day after their arrest and imprisoned in Turkey. Their daughters are with relatives. Most of their relatives, knowing they were accused of being terrorists, are afraid to befriend them. The setting is a prison cell in the closed prison in Ankara, Turkey. Street sounds come through the barred window at the top of the wall. People calling to each other, cars honking. Saifam and 4 women sit on cots, silent, despairing. There is a sink and a toilet, but nothing else. The women's arms and faces are bruised. Their heads are covered with scarves or hijabs.
When my daughter was arrested, she was pregnant, and they brought her into these very walls and gave birth here. Can you believe that? I can hardly believe it. And they just, many other women had the same experience. So there's been lots of babies born here. And then they take them away. They took her baby and they gave her to me, and now they put me in prison. I just don't know what to do. Oh, I feel so sad. They gave the baby to another family member, a cousin, but they say we're terrorists. We're not terrorists, but that's what they say. They say she must not be raised by a terrorist, my granddaughter. Well, we wouldn't raise her as a terrorist. We're not terrorists. That's what they said, that she must not be raised by terrorists. So I heard my daughter has been tortured.
Oh, no.
They said, and I don't know where she is. Oh, oh my! I just have to cry and sob because it's just so sad. And they took her away, and now I don't know if I'll ever see her again. And my grandbaby, I don't know where she is.
I'm so sorry.
Why are we here? We are not terrorists. I'm a doctor. They took me from my surgery immediately to prison. I joined the Hizmet movement to serve in Haiti after the last hurricane. Why? I ask you, why does that make us terrorists?
Yeah. We have to understand how they think. They believe we're terrorists because Hizmet has made schools and hospitals in Turkey and around the world, and they can't understand why we would leave our comfortable jobs to go serve and work among the poor. They don't know any better.
Maybe it's because they're afraid that if the poor learn skills like reading, math, computer, how to make things, then the poor will want to change the government.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're out to crush the schools, crush the hospitals, and crush us. I am a counselor. I have been a counselor my whole career. I have cared and worked with mentally ill people. But now I wonder if the president and his followers are not more mentally ill than my patients.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I care for children in my home. My work is no threat to President Erdogan. I want to help children in our country and other nations get enough to eat, have books to read, a safe place to sleep. My husband warned me that my volunteer work with Hizmet, tutoring children in poor neighborhoods of Istanbul, could get me into trouble. I didn't believe him. I just want to help children, so what's wrong with that?
No, I understand. I'm a teacher too. I taught in Congo for 8 years and then in Pakistan for 2 more. And I am not a revolutionary, just a conservative Muslim woman who believes the teachings of the Quran to do charitable works. That's why I became a teacher. And for this, they separate us from our families. It doesn't make any sense. And lock us up. We've lost everything. People in our family are afraid to talk to us. They think that if they associate with us, they will be called terrorists. Yes.
Yes, and my husband says his family won't speak with him since they brought me here to prison.
Oh.
So, I just keep thinking about my daughter and my grandbaby. I just can't stop thinking about that. What?
Get up.
Why? What? You have interrogated me for months. I can't tell you where there are any terrorists because I don't know any terrorists.
Come. You are going for your sentencing.
Sefam, stay strong. I have heard that there are people escaping across the border into Georgia.
And I've heard that some have made it as far as Canada and the United States.
But I have also heard that some have been tortured to the extent that they do not survive it.
Hearing that just makes me wonder all the more where my daughter is and my granddaughter. I can't stop crying. They took my daughter and my granddaughter, and I'm so distraught. Will we ever see each other again?
Saifam sits outside the Ankara courtroom waiting to appear before the judge. She is crying. There is a small window out to the street behind the bench on which she is seated. She hears women talking as they walk by and stands, calling out, thinking she recognizes the voices. The voices sound like her daughters.
Aisha, Amila, it's me, your mother. Aisha, Amila.
She thinks she knows us. How embarrassing. She might be a thief. Why else would she be coming before the court in chains? Let's get out of here and go get a fruit shake.
Excuse me. My name is Mustafa. I'm a judge in this court. Mother, is there something wrong? Is there something you need?
For 20 years, I've been a teacher. I taught first in Istanbul, and then the Congo and Pakistan. 6 months ago, they brought me here from Pakistan. They arrested me there. And I haven't seen my family since. I don't know if my husband and children are alive. Please help me. I'm a teacher, nothing more.
I believe I will see you in my courtroom. Do not despair.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. I had to use the toilet, so I chained her to the bench. Please forgive me.
Do what you need to do. Again, Mother, do not despair.
Praise be to Allah and to his Prophet Muhammad. Praise be to Allah and to his Prophet Muhammad.
I would not be who I am without my teachers. I cannot call my teachers terrorists. And no matter what President Erdogan says. Here, please take this. You might need it to find your family or even to get out of Turkey.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
May Allah be with you.
It is 2 years later. In a small apartment in Toronto, Canada, the family, reunited, gathers for a meal. The space is similar to their Pakistan apartment, Spartan, with few pieces of furniture and everything old and worn. Saifam is preparing a meal and the girls are helping her. There is a sofa covered with rugs. In front of the sofa, a small table with a covered dish in front of them. They are refugees, asylum seekers now, and Canada has taken them in.
They were persuaded that we were terrorists. We should forget them. They are not worth remembering.
They're still your family, Amila. Don't speak disrespectfully of them. Some of them took care of you and kept you safe while your mother and I were in prison. And
right.
yes, some of them wouldn't talk to us, but they still gave us money to help pay for our escape from Turkey. Remember, we had nothing. We had no money, none of Mama's gold. We didn't have passports, no ID, no jobs, no proof of our university educations.
Do you want to go back, Father?
If Turkey changes, if it is no longer a police state, and yes, of course, it's my home.
I want to be able to teach again. It's what I love to do, to work with children. But here, I don't have my credentials. I don't have my qualifications. And it is lonely here. But we are safe. We are together. That is worth the loneliness.
I'm sorry we can't provide you the life we used to have. We have to take whatever jobs we can get, and they don't pay very well. But thanks be to Allah that we have found other families from Turkey, refugees here as well with us. It's it helps us. It greatly helps us in our ability to live this new life as asylum seekers.
Well, I will never go back. I'm quite happy being Canadian, and I am friends with people from lots of countries here.
I worry that you won't know the ways of our homeland, the language and the culture. I fear that I will spend my whole life grieving for the land that I love, Turkey, and I fear that you will forget Turkey entirely and become Canadians. But one thing I won't let you forget, that's how to make doner kebab.
We'll never forget that, Mama. Will we, Amila?
Also, never forget the people who are still imprisoned in Turkey for their charitable work, for their religion, for criticizing the way the government operates.
Never forget the babies, hundreds of them born to mothers who are political prisoners.
Never forget that we were the lucky ones. We escaped prison. The text I just received was about the young man who was with me in prison. He was so badly tortured. He just died.
Oh, no.
In prison. His body couldn't take the torture. May Allah bless his soul.
Why does the government hate us?
Because our leader is a well-educated imam who teaches that all religions in the world share the same core teachings of peace and of charity and taking care of the poor and the orphans and the widows. His followers are Muslims like us who have created camps, schools, hospitals all over the world to help do as he teaches. President Erdogan hates us because we use our lives and our resources to help make the world a better place. We criticize the government's treatment of the Kurds, and he labeled us terrorists. He's been president in Turkey longer than anyone else in history, and he's appointed all of the judges, and he brands any opposition parties terrorists.
Mm-hmm.
We criticize the government, and he made us the enemy. Here's a question for you, daughters. What is the one word that angers and upsets people all over the world? I'm still a teacher.
Terrorists?
Exactly right.
Well, it's time to eat. Bon appetit, my little so-called Turkish terrorists.
And could we have a round of applause for our director and writer, Gretchen Ike?